I think the budget was well balanced. I have a few observations and concerns, especially looking at the allocations to the provincial governments as well as the lower level of government, which is the local government. The first part is there is what we call equitable share, which is based on the revenue collected by national government. And they've basically changed the formula of allocating the revenue collected at national government to provincial government and lower. Now, my problem is, are we taking money where it's supposed to go, or are we basically following what needs to be followed without really taking into account what is needed? Now, 23.9 billion has been allocated to the infrastructure development within the education fraternity. Now the question is, how do you control that? We have seen over a number of years National Treasury allocating money to Department of Education, to transportation, and all what actually happened was corruption. Now the question is, you can increase the allocation, but you're not doing what is rightfully so in monitoring the allocation. So that's a big problem for me. Now, it's a second problem that I have. They are having a new allocation, which is going, I think, 43 billion, which is going to the Department of Water Affairs. The question is, we have utilities that are managed at the moment by municipalities, which we call municipal entities. Now, isn't that a duplication of effort? You're giving the Department of Water Affairs a mandate to manage water services. At the same time, you're having utilities that are supposed to manage the infrastructure and make sure that water is purified, etc., etc. I need to understand that process. The third point is Thornton. We believe that revenue collected by utilities, for instance, water utilities, need to be managed and monitored to understand the growth and the wastage that is taking place within those areas. And then we call that ring-fencing. You ring-fence the revenue collection, and then you understand the utilization, the profit and loss that is coming out of that ring-fenced unit. I don't see that from the budget itself to say we want to ring-fence revenue and make sure that revenue is utilized for the purpose of which it was collected for. So taxpayers' money, we want to see if taxpayers' money is being utilized appropriately. My last point is basically looking at shifting profits, that is business people shifting profits, probably in areas where there's low employment. Now, in the previous government, there used to be what we call Bantu states, and incentives were basically given to these areas to instigate or to drive growth, what we call economic growth, by providing incentives to manufacturers, etc., etc. At the same time, these people basically created employment. And then by doing that, a lot of people stayed in their homelands. Now, if we have provinces, why can't we help the provinces to do the same by having different incentive schemes that will invigorate growth, economic growth within the provinces?